Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to part 8 of Hellraiser Bestiary. This is a series I've been running here on the channel every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Now, if you missed part 1, you'll find it linked down below. And if you've enjoyed any of these, please don't forget to hit that like button, but also let me know down below in the comment section. If you have enjoyed them so much that you'd like to leave me a tip, you'll find my PayPal as well as my Patreon down below in the description box. YouTube really doesn't like this Hellraiser horror, dark type of content. So mark my words, it's not very good in terms of its comeback on ad rates. But anyway, that being said, let's dive right into it. Welcome to hell. House after house of perfect lawns, spacious living rooms, happy families. One samey one after another. They hate me because I'm different. I see their sidelong stares, their little whispering fits when I go by. I don't think about them at all. I think about my house, about my secrets. That's all I ever think about lately. That no one can ever know what they'd do if they found out, how they'd try to take it all away. They wouldn't understand. I didn't fit into their neat little boxes. I never did. They can only dream of having what I have. All these treasures. They all belong to me. We go into a house. It's an elderly woman. A hoarder. Clearly, she's surrounded by numerous objects, things that she's hoarded across the years. You can't trust them. People, they'll go away. They'll try to take what's yours. My childhood got left behind in dozens of apartments and trailers and borrowed bedrooms. Pieces of me thrown away like trash, scattered across the country. But not anymore. All my life, the river of things raced towards me and just as quickly raced away. Until I got a home, a door for the river to flow into. Enough space that it never has to flow out again. I control it now. I freeze it. I sleep good. Like a baby. A loud noise wakes her up. I used to wake up afraid. Never sure what city or state Mama had moved us to this time. Wherever I woke up would be empty. Mama off somewhere with some new someone. Just me and the things we'd accumulated to keep me company. No one to tell me it would all be okay, because it wouldn't. But the things reassured me. Never made friends for long. Mama's boyfriends all resented me. Daddy left long ago. All I had was a few pieces of mail with his name on it, a pair of dice and some boots that belonged to him. My things were all I ever had. And every time we moved, we only took whatever we could fit in Mama's hatchback. Me, crying, trying to choose which thing was more important, like which leg was more valuable. It hurt worse than when Grandma and Grandpa died. Hurt like when my dog Star got hit by that truck out front of the gas station. Knowing some stranger was going to have their hands all over my life, my memories. The second-hand Barbie that Uncle Bill gave me, or the dresses Uncle Jimmy bought me. I screamed, bit and kicked my feet. Mom'd shake her head, tell me this was for my own good, and she smiled like she wasn't ripping my heart out. The old woman opens a door. She sees a man and a policeman there. I moved in 35 years ago, out of the apartment I'd been sharing with Mama and her new husband, all the way across the country to Arkansas, where I'd been born. I got a job in a library, and I rented the first house that spoke to me. It was all I could afford, but it was mine. I met a man, John. Worked at the museum as security guard. He swept me off my feet and we bought the house. We built a life together. I clipped articles. I brought home orphan books from the library, gave them a new life. We had Sally and John Jr. and I thought things would be better but I only got more nervous, became more concerned with what the world would do to them, to my memories of them. I kept every report card, every finger-painted portrait. I kept their clothes after they'd outgrown them, so I could hold them up, remember when they were smaller, safer. John, he said I was crazy and had a sickness. He and the kids couldn't live like this, but I always managed to soothe him, convince him we were fine. And they were ashamed. We never let anyone see the inside of our house. I didn't mind. I liked going out, seeing the world, finding more treasures to preserve. They never understood these things that came into my life. They show up for a reason, they have a purpose. All these pieces of life people throw away, I rescue them, I give them a purpose. I begged them not to leave. And I always knew they would. Everyone always tries to leave me. My friend Kathleen agreed to put the books they were throwing out aside for me. I don't even talk to her anymore. I don't talk to anyone. Not even my family. They went away. I remember the last thing Sally said, crying and yelling as I moved boxes of her grade school clothing into what used to be her bedroom. "Mama," she said, "this is just garbage. Why are you doing this? Why is this stuff more important than us?" I'm not replacing people with stuff. These things help me to connect to people, to the world, a place where everything is happy. My home, a reminder of all the homes I never had, frozen in time, tied up with a string, an ocean of lives. I'll never be alone again. That's part of the plan. It was, at least. Lately, city people, have come wandering around my house, clipboards and cameras, weird instruments they hold up in the air. They say I'm a danger to myself, to the neighbourhood. They say I've destroyed this house, that no one can live in it. They want to take me out of it. They can't see. I'm not destroying, I'm building. This is an index of life. The good things, the terrible things, everything. It's not supposed to make sense. Since when does life make sense? It's a puzzle I'm solving. One thing, one memory at a time. It's just missing a few pieces. I see it in my head. I feel like I've always seen it there, reflected back in all those orphaned objects. A perfect home with a place for everything. And everything in its place. Like John, he always loved the living room. It seemed like the best place to leave his body. Sally always spent so much time in the bathroom. She lived in the tub as a baby, loved the water. And John Jr. loved his mama. He was always so delicate. I keep him in here, with me, where he's safe and sound. And out there, none of them would have been safe. I saved them like I save everything. I know where they are. I always know. I told them not to leave me. I clung to them. I made them stay, so I could always remember. So I could show them I was right. Not crazy, not obsessed, not a threat. I wanted to build a home so wonderful that no one could ever take it away. A whole world of my own, everything and everyone I need. Enough time and space for all my treasures, for 1,000 lifetimes of things. A perfect life. I always knew it was possible. We see hooks and chains, obliterating bodies, corpses. It's dark and warm when I wake up. Hello? But I'm not scared. Everything has shifted my order, all shuffled, but it doesn't matter now. This home was getting too small anyway. I have a whole world to fill up now, one memory at a time. The end. And there, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the first anthology story. As I have been doing here, this comic starts with Hellraiser anthologies. And now time for the second before we get to the main event. Come on, you piece of shit. Show me something. We see a science lab and a whiteboard that says I don't fucking know on it. Show me anything. Nothing. Fucking nothing. The man at a microscope just smashes papers to one side and he turns to the lament configuration of the box. He stares. What the hell are you? Not realising in those words the clue. Hell. What do you mean you don't know? You gotta understand. It's more than just a box. I just don't know what. We simply asked for you to find out what it is. How can that be so hard? Because there's nothing. I mean, here, look at this. Even the x-rays show nothing. And? And? That shouldn't happen. It's made of wood and metals, but the weight of it negates any possibility of a lead lining. There's no possible explanation I can think of. You only have another 3 days of research allotted, Doctor. You're going to need to think harder. With all due respect, I think for a living, sir. My work will continue to be hindered if I'm not allowed full contact. Trust me, you do not want to touch that box. The doctor runs out the office. 3 days, Doctor. 3 days. Alright. Back to square one. What do we know? Made of mahogany, brass and gold with several hidden switches, purpose unknown. The etchings appear to be the abstract drawings of a creature or creatures of no determinable genus. Approximate date of manufacture is some point in the late 18th century. Fuck. What's the point? You shouldn't exist. You shouldn't exist. He starts smashing stuff around his office. He shatters the glass. Screw what he said. He picks it up, starts touching it, makes a noise and a click. It's nothing, it's music box. Nothing more, he says as he carries the box into the office. I mean, there are still questions, of course. The x-rays still have me at a loss, but... Doctor, you were told not to touch that box. Yes, I know, but... You did the right thing. I did? I was wrong. I apologise. The test was a success. We see the commanding officer there, hooks and chains, and his ribcage now exposed, blood pouring out. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Congratulations, Doctor. You did so well. We're all so proud of you. You did it. We knew you could. Never gave up hope, not even for a second. We should go out and celebrate. And then a voice. Strange. He does not seem aware of what is happening. Do we continue? It's the female cenobite and Pinhead. No. His suffering is beyond anything we can bestow. This is a waste of our efforts. Such a pity. When madness negates the gifts we bring. And they walk off. His head being pulled apart. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we get to the main event. The Hunted. We see Pinhead in the rafters of the cathedral, the mercenary, taking aim with his machine gun. But the portal is still opening, and from the portal we see hooks on chains, and they rip the gun away. And they start to lash out, to pull the mercenary towards them. And he quickly manages to jump out the way. The hooks and the chains, they smash, they obliterate some of the wood surrounding the structures. So much so that a beam falls from the rafters, from the roof. And there, the cenobites walk towards him. They enter the Earth dimension. But they're caught on camera. Someone is watching. We see on the screens numerous cenobites, many in fact, surrounding the mercenary. This is bad. This is really fucking bad. Do we call it? Yeah, call it. Attention, all agents. This is not a drill. Initiate damnation protocol. I repeat. And there we cut to inside the cathedral. Your Holiness, I'm busy. Yes, Pontifex, but do you remember that worst case scenario you were briefed about a few weeks ago? I do. Well, it's worse than that. It's happening right now. You need to evacuate the Vatican immediately. And there, we see the Pontifex and numerous soldiers, all with machine guns, evacuating His Holiness. They all make their way up to the rafters, to the attic space. "God in heaven," they say as they open fire. "Fire!" Bullets start bouncing, ricocheting off. They manage to pierce the cenobites, but they do no harm. They keep moving. "You have something that belongs to me," Pinhead says, looming over the mercenary, holding out his hand, summoning his pins. They start to pull from the satchel at the merc's side. They fly towards Pinhead. As they're drawn to him, his power, he forces them into his flesh, into his skull. And with it, with his renewed strength, he heals himself. "Congregants, we are victorious, and to the victors go the spoils. Everything in this room now belongs to the Order of the Gash. We take it all back with us, including him," he says as he points towards the merc. "Please, no!" And there, in hell, we see all the cenobites dragging the trinkets, the holy items. And someone asks Pinhead something. "My priest, is this necessary?" It's female cenobite, raspy from her throat cut. "Entirely." "May I ask why?" "They tried to take away that which belonged to me. An eye for an eye would not suffice. So I have taken away everything that belonged to them. And as a result, I now have such a charming new plaything," he says as he looks up. There on the crucifix is the merc. "Fuck you." "Show some respect. A better man than you suffered with far more dignity upon that very cross. And besides, your suffering has not even begun. This new decor suits the monastery well, does it not?" "It does, my lord." "Yes, I rather like our new bestiary." The end. Ladies and gentlemen, this again has been a series I've been running here on the channel. Every Monday, Wednesday and Friday I've been diving into the Hellraiser comics. But fear not. Yes, this is the end of Hellraiser Bestiary, but there will be some more Hellraiser content because there is a side story which involves Kirsty Cotton as she was Pinhead, which I'm going to be doing next. And then after that, I will be doing the Hellraiser anthologies, which, yes, I know, it's a lot of Hellraiser, but I want to explore them first. And then I'm going to be diving into the Nightbreed comics, the Alien comics, along with many, many others. Please do leave your suggestions down below. Hope you enjoyed this series, and stay tuned for some of the complete stories which I like to put together. Anyway, guys, thanks so much. Take care.